Hey guys, welcome to Falling Forward Productions. So now you're a travel nurse and you're going to be getting a bunch of pay contracts sent your way. How do you know what's a good deal? Well, stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to objectively look at these contracts and know if you're getting a good deal. First of all, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. Falling Forward Production is going to be putting out a bunch of content related to travel nursing as well as a bunch of other stuff. So if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe to the channel below, and let's get into it. All right, guys, to evaluate a travel nurse contract, you need to understand how travel nurses get paid. Travel nurses get paid a little differently than regular staff nurses, so you need to understand the different aspects of the pay. There's three main parts that make up travel nurse pay. There's your hourly rate, which is like a normal hourly rate. Then there's your stipends, which is your meal and housing stipends, and then your OT and your holiday rates. And it's super important that you understand these aspects so that you can effectively evaluate these contracts. So the first aspect of your pay is gonna be your hourly rate. Your hourly rate is how much you're paid an hour that is taxed. The thing to keep in mind with this is that you're usually gonna make less per hour than say a normal staff nurse. That being because your money is gonna be made up in your housing and meal stipend. The rule of thumb with this though is you wanna make at least $18 to $20 an hour, preferably more, but you don't wanna take less than that $18 to $20 an hour because that could trigger you to be audited by the IRS. So it's super important that you understand that you're probably gonna make less an hour, but you don't wanna make so much less an hour that you cause problems with the IRS. All right guys, so now we're moving into the second part of your pay, which is gonna be your stipends. This is really kind of the fun and interesting part of your pay, and the reason that a lot of nurses wanna get into travel nursing. It's the tax-free money. The thing you need to understand about your stipends is there is a limit to what these companies can legally offer you in your stipend. That limit is set by a federal agency known as the General Services Administration, or the GSA. The reason that this is important is because the GSA publishes these rates on their website, and we're gonna use that information later in the tool that I'm gonna show you to be able to objectively look at contracts that you're sent so you can make sure that you're maxing out your stipends and you're getting the most money out of your contracts. All right guys, so there's an important aspect of your housing stipend that you need to be aware of. A lot of travel nurse companies will offer you housing instead of paying you a housing stipend. This is super nice because you don't have to do any of the legwork to find a place to live. The problem with this though is in the long run, you will end up making less money. What a lot of nurses will do is they will take their housing stipend and then find a cheaper place to live, and then they get to keep the difference. For example, if you're paid $1,000 in your stipend, but you can find somewhere to live for $800, then you get to keep the $200. So the question you really need to ask yourself when you're making this decision is, do I want to make more money or do I want an easy place to live? So now we're moving into the third part of your pay, which is going to be your OT and your holiday rates. The thing to remember with this, that as a travel nurse, is you're going to be making less hourly than say a normal staff nurse. So you really need to figure out how much your true hourly rate is with your hourly rate and your stipends, and then base your time and a half off of that. The reason I bring this up is because in a lot of contracts I've seen, they have based their hour or their OT rate off of just the hourly rate itself. So say you're making $20 an hour, they base your time and a half off of that, and then you end up losing out on a lot of money. So you really want to make sure you pay attention to this and make sure that you're getting what you deserve for your OT and holiday rates. So now that you understand the different aspects of travel nursing pay, I am going to show you a spreadsheet that I use to objectively look at contracts and determine whether they're a good deal or not. Now this spreadsheet was created by a nurse named Kay Slane. She runs a Facebook group called Travel Nursing Newbies, which is a great resource for information, especially for new travel nurses. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. But this spreadsheet, what it does is it allows you to take objective information from the GSA and a website called salary.com, and it allows you to compare that to contracts that you're offered. And what it does is it allows you to see the different areas so that you can see where you can ask for more money, or if you're getting a good deal, or if it's something that you shouldn't even consider. So we're gonna get into that next, and I'm gonna show you how to use it. All right, guys, so I had my recruiter send over a contract to use as an example. So this contract is for Fountain Valley, California, for an ICU position. The thing you have to remember with California is their labor laws are a little different than other states. So if you work more than 8 hours in a day, you have to get paid OT. So hours 1 through 8 is paid out at $43 an hour, and then hours 8 through 12 is paid out at $67.50 an hour, and then you have your traditional OT, which is anything over 12 hours. Well, the thing we have to do with this contract is to figure out what our true hourly rate is going to be. The easiest way to do that is just multiply them together and then divide by 12. And then we'll add in our OT. And then we'll divide by 12. So that's our hourly rate, and we're gonna round down to 51.16. So what we'll do is we'll take 51.16 and plug that into our tool. And the nice thing about this tool is it automatically calculates our weekly salary. And then it also takes out the 25% tax rate. So remember that our stipends are made up of housing and meals. On this, there's also a travel stipend, but the thing to remember with your travel stipend is it's more of a travel bonus that's usually paid out at the beginning of your contract, or they may split it up and pay half at the beginning and half at the end when you complete it. But usually the travel stipend does not affect your weekly pay. So we'll come over here and we're gonna add in our weekly housing stipend. Now with this tool, we have to make sure we divide this number by 7. So divide by 7 for 7 days in the week. And that will give us our daily housing stipend of $181. And then you'll see down here our weekly stipend. Same for our meals. Divide by 7 for 7 days in a week. That gives us our daily meal stipend, as well as our total weekly stipend. Let's head over to the GSA and get our objective information to compare to our contract. So you're going to go to gsa.gov, and this is what the page will look like. You're going to go down to the travel tab. You're going to put in your state. And then you're going to put in Fountain Valley or wherever your contract's for. And you're always going to want to look up rates by fiscal year. And we're going to do 2020 fiscal year. And then these are the rates that the GSA dictates that you should be getting paid for your daily housing stipends, as well as your meal stipends. So they dictate 181 and 66. So we're going to go back over to our tool here, and we're going to put in 181, 181, and then 66. And it automatically calculates it out for us. Alright guys, the last piece of the puzzle here is we need to figure out our hourly rate for that given area. And how we do that is with a website called salary.com. So we'll go to that, and what you'll do is you'll put in your location. We'll put in our title, and then we will search for it. And it'll come up with a number of different results, but what we're looking for is just a regular staff ICU nurse. And it'll come up here. And what it has is the annual salary, so we want to change that to our hourly salary. And I always go with the median hourly salary for the given area. So this is $41. So we will plug in that $41 into our tool. Now that we have all of our information plugged into this tool, we need to take an objective look at this contract and decide whether this is something that we want or not. Now, the different areas that I look at in this tool is, the first is your hourly. So I look at what my hourly rate is for the contract versus what the median salary is for the area that I want to go to. Then I look at my housing stipend and make sure that that is maxed out or as close to it maxed out as possible. Remember that there is a maximum that these companies can pay you in your housing stipend and still give it to you tax-free. Then I look at my meal stipend, make sure that's maxed out. And then Kay actually has a very good explanation of what the 50 and 75% of GSA rate columns are. For me, the way that I use this tool is I look at the 75% of GSA rate for a 13-week contract, and it needs to meet or exceed this number. If it's below this, I look at where it is lacking, whether it be in my housing or my meal or my hourly, and then I use that information to negotiate with my recruiter. If your housing stipend is far below what the GSA is, you can say, I need a bump in my housing stipend, or I need a bump in my meal stipend, or I need a bump in my hourly pay. And what this tool does is it gives you the objective information you need to be able to negotiate with recruiters. I want to give a big thank you to Kay for putting this tool out. It has been a huge help to me personally, and I hope that it will be a big help to you as well. Thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully you got some information out of this that you've been looking for. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I am planning on putting out a lot more content in the future, and I would love to hear some comments as far as what you would like to see so that I can put that together for you. Please check out our website at fallingforwardproductions.com. It has links to all of our social media as well as some other cool content, so check that out. And always remember, everyone falls, and when you do, fall forward.